Greetings. This is Astrologer Pam Younghans, and here is my North Point Journal, your guide to planetary energies for the week of November 11th to 17th, 2024. The full moon that occurs on Friday, November 15th, is spectacular for several reasons. Most noticeably, it is a supermoon, occurring when the moon is at the point in its orbit when it is closest to Earth. This means that the moon will visually appear much larger than normal, and also that it has a stronger emotional impact. Even more significantly, the lunation is in close proximity to the planet Uranus, highlighting the destabilizing energies of the sideways spinning planet. The energy is highly electric and changeable, stimulating the nervous system and affecting the mental state. The involvement of Uranus increases the likelihood that we will experience surprising, sudden, life-changing events around the time of the full moon. Symbolic and sometimes literal lightning strikes and earthquakes can occur. Uranus is also associated with the need to assert one's freedom and to be true to oneself. People may act impulsively and independently, inspired by a need to rebel against restrictions or limitations. Easing some of the intensity of the lunation, the moon is in harmonious aspect to both Neptune and Pluto. With assist from mystical Neptune, we are supported in being more compassionate, understanding, imaginative, and spiritually focused. With passionate Pluto on board, a strong determination, a sense of urgency, and a commitment to a higher purpose invite some to take action. As god of the underworld, Pluto can also help us release the past and embrace the evolutionary process of death and rebirth. With the full moon at 24 degrees of Taurus and Uranus at 25 degrees 17 minutes of Taurus, both are also conjunct the fixed star Algol, which is at 26-10 degrees of Taurus. If you recall, the Mars-Uranus conjunction that occurred on July 15th of this year was at the same degree as Algol, and thus activated some shocking events. The fixed star Algol is part of the Perseid constellation and is located in Medusa's head. In ancient astrology, the star represented misfortune, danger, and violence. In today's astrology, we also see it as a symbol of feminine power, the ability to rise above victim consciousness and transformation. Our experiences of mid-July could provide insights into the themes that will be revisited around the time of Friday's full moon. While the lunation might not have as strong an impact as that Mars-Uranus Algol alignment, it could trigger some similar energies. Saturn is at a standstill on the day of the full moon as it completes its 4-month retrograde phase and turns to move forward once again. When a planet comes to a stop in order to change direction, its influence is greatly heightened. It is interesting and a bit perplexing that cautious follow-the-rules Saturn is at full strength on the same day that the effects of progressive rebellious Uranus are also enhanced. It is possible that the two planetary forces could cancel each other out, two waves coming from opposite directions mitigating the effects of both. However, it is more likely that some will experience more of Saturn's influence and others will experience more of Uranus's effect. Those who feel Saturn strongly are likely to experience a reality check and thus decide to either change or commit to a goal or direction. If you have natal planets or points between 10 and 15 degrees of the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, this may be how this week feels to you. Those who are influenced mostly by Uranus are likely to feel very restless, eager for change, and rebellious against restrictions this week, especially on Friday. You will likely feel this energy most intensely if you have natal planets or points between 22 and 26 degrees of the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius. Although the first catalytic Mars-Pluto opposition is now behind us, we must keep in mind that there are two more exact oppositions between these two planets in the coming months. There will be a link in some way between the first opposition on November 3rd and the remaining two, which perfect on January 2nd and April 26th of 2025. Last Sunday's opposition occurred while Pluto was in the final degree of Capricorn, so it was specifically focused on the collapse of systems that once were considered reliable. With Mars in Cancer, many were affected on a deeply emotional level, as their sense of security was eroded. The next two oppositions perfect while Pluto is in Aquarius and Mars is in Leo, so there will be a different flavor to the energies, even though we will be working with similar themes of deconstruction. Some of this new flavor should become more apparent once Pluto enters Aquarius on November 19th, and it will be especially strong in late December, early January. Here are my brief interpretations of this week's most important planetary aspects day by day. On Monday, the Sun is quincunx Jupiter and also quincunx Chiron. The Scorpio Sun is forming a yod, finger of God configuration with Jupiter and Chiron yesterday and today. This energy pattern invites us to engage in honest and deep self-reflection. It challenges us to contemplate the beliefs we hold and the faith that guides our lives. We are asked to acknowledge any fears and cynicism that represent a need for healing. Once we feel the pain, cry the tears, or express the rage, we are then more able to adjust our course and our attitude to be in better alignment with our highest principles. Also on Monday, Venus enters Capricorn. Venus will be in the sign of the Sea Goat from November 11th to December 7th. During this 4-week period, the goddess of love and beauty encourages us to be serious and realistic about our investments in both relationship and financial matters. We are less romantic and idealistic now, and value that which is reliable and long-term. On Tuesday, Mercury is square Saturn. This aspect represents a challenge to our ideas and our ideologies. Communications may be blocked or delayed in some way. We could also be in a more pessimistic mindset than we might like. Some may express themselves with sarcasm, ridicule, or cynicism. There are no major aspects exact on Wednesday. On Thursday, Venus is quincunx Mars. It may be hard to relate to others today. A need for attention may be met with a cold shoulder. Also on Thursday, Mercury is semi-square Pluto. The mind is distrustful and suspicious under this aspect, perhaps leading us to believe in conspiracy theories. Words are used to manipulate and intimidate. On Friday, Saturn stations direct, coming to a standstill at 12 degrees 41 minutes of Pisces. As the ringed planet begins its forward motion and picks up speed over the coming weeks, there is greater cosmic support for practical concerns and for building a career or business. The full moon peaks at 1:28 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, when the moon is at 24 degrees Taurus and the sun is at the same degree of Scorpio. A Taurus full moon calls for us to honor both the desire for consistency and the need for transformative change. While we focus on enjoying the simple comforts that help us feel inner peace, we must also be willing to experience deep, honest emotions. On Saturday, Venus is square the nodal axis. Our attention is drawn to relationship issues now, either present day or past situations. We may be especially aware of times when we have not been personally sovereign and instead have acted codependently. Also on Saturday, the Sun is quincunx Eris and opposite Uranus. People are especially restless, impulsive, and perhaps selfishly motivated today. There is a strong rebellious urge and a disregard for the rules. Controversies are brewing and could be quite divisive. On Sunday, Mars is semi-square Jupiter. The media is working overtime, and headlines could be especially dramatic or sensationalized today. If your birthday is this week, you are in a time of reinventing yourself, of discovering who you are now as compared to who you once were. In the year ahead, you may feel quite restless and even rebellious, especially if there are any areas of your life where you have been feeling restricted, not free to be or act authentically. There is a tendency to act impulsively, on instinct, instead of taking the time to think through your actions. This can also be a year of profound spiritual growth, as you open to experiences of a transcendent nature. Your imagination is enhanced, supporting visualization, meditation, and creative expression. This is Astrologer Pam Younghans wishing you an insightful week. Thank you for being with me on this journey.
We hope that you have enjoyed this article. For over 30 years, we at Inner Self have sought to encourage new attitudes and new possibilities. For more inspiration, visit us at innerself.com. Thank you.
Visit the Inner Self Market for new attitudes and new possibilities. You'll find inspiring books, wonderful music CDs, audiobooks, card decks, candles, jewelry, gifts, all kinds of wonderful things. Visit us at market.innerself.com.